Hello guys, I'm Sluggy Beats and today I'm going to be showing you how to make house beats for rappers.
Already telling you moving your feet, yo Sluggy, we'll be in a different league. Took off the latch, then I climbed in.
Now there's a few different sort of house beats you can make for rappers, such as like can go with the sort of silky Mad At Me sound.
And I keep it 100, stepped out, skin fade in a sunbed.
You can go with a bit more of a Charlie Chopper garage sort of beat.
Martinis or some batteries.
You could do a Jack in House sort of beat, which we've heard from Chad Harrison and Tom Zanetti.
I got scars on my face like Tony, a girl take pictures you wanting to show me.
Or you could go with that classic organ bassline sounding beat, which we've heard a lot over the past few years from Bad Boy Chiller Crew.
Big boy Max, so hot the curve. I see them boys in blue, so I dropped the third.
And that's the sort of beat what I'm going to be showing you today, because that's kind of where the sound started, and I think it's the most important one in the genre. So today I'm going to be referencing a beat that I produced for Cav.
It's 2024, and you know we're still going wicked and raw. Every time I link up with Sluggy, the numbers go mad, so it's only right that we give them more.
Now step one for making these beats is getting the organ bass line down. So as you can hear, the pattern's super simple, just a slight variation from bar 1 and bar 2, just swapping the last 2 notes round just so it doesn't get too old, but it's still pretty familiar. The sound I've used to get that organ bassline sound is the Korg M1, which is kind of where the sound originates from, and all the like one shots and stuff like that are just basically variations of this sound. However, now there is a lot of Serum presets that kind of replicate this sound that can be found on Splice or in other packs. You will find that if you're using the Korg M1, you will have to play around with the sound a fair bit to make it sound good, so you can either like play around with EQs, compressors, saturators, just to give your own unique twist of the sound. And also my advice would be when using it is to turn off the onboard effects on the Korg M1 or massively adjust them, because when you first load it up there'll just be way too much reverb on there. Now the second thing I like to do with my organ bass is just to layer it but an octave lower. Now step 2 is the drums. Now these drums are basically the same across all these sorts of beats, except if you're going to go down the garage route. If you'd like to see how to make the garage sort of beats, then let me know in the comments and I'll be sure to do that for you. This drum pattern's super simple to learn and it's the same every time, so you'll be repeating it lots so you'll get used to it. But all we need is a kick on each beat, so beat 1, 2, 3 and 4. Then we want to add a clap on beats 2 and 4. Then we need a hi-hat on the offbeat. So the offbeat is like the and with the beat. So if we was counting 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So that's all you need really for the basics of the drums, but of course you can add a few extra elements to spice it up a bit if you like. So in this beat I added a snare. And then I also added a tambourine to go all the way through. If you need drum sounds to make beats exactly like this, then you can download my drum kit Turbo from the description. It's going to include all the drum sounds you'll need, any effects, and also includes drum loops in there, so you can just drag the full drum track in if you want and not even have to do anything and just carry on with the rest of the beat. Now step 3 is you're going to usually want to add some sort of other melodic elements to fill out the beat, whether that be a vocal or a different sort of synth or just something extra just to fill out the beat and make it unique. Otherwise it's just going to sound the same as everything else and really basic. So for this beat I used a plugin called Arcade, which has an instrument on there called Hooked, which is just full of different like vocal chops and stuff. So I loaded up a preset on there and I played some vocals in which sound like this. And I also put a plugin called Little Alter Boy on there just to give it some sort of different sound. That's what kind of gives it that sort of like high pitched noise. This is what them vocals sound like in the beat. Another element I always like to add is a high string in the intro. Super quiet and in the background, but works really well. And that's just a preset from the Korg M1. The final step to these sort of beats is adding effects in, such as crashes and rises and drum fills and just stuff like that. For this beat, I kept it quite simple, just added crashes and rises, but you can add drum build-ups, kick build-ups, you can add drum fills, anything you want to just make it a bit more unique and more impactful.
Sluggy, what you saying, man?
Here's some final tips and tricks for you to add to these beats to make them more exciting if you want. My first tip is don't keep the drums the same all the way through. Make sure you're taking elements out. So this is probably kind of a bad example track to show you for this. But as you can see, there's entire 16 bar sections here where there's no drums at all, but then the drums all come back in. Now, other things you could do to change it is, for example, at this beginning bit, instead of having all these elements straight away, like the tambourine and the snare, you could remove them at first and then add them in the second 8 bars, just so then it keeps the song exciting. There's new things for the listener to catch on to. As you can hear, it just adds something new to the song and just keeps it moving. Another drum trick you could do is just taking the claps out of the last 2 bars or something like that. Again, just switches it up, or you could do the same with the kick. Kind of makes the track pause for a bit and then it's straight back in, so it sounds like it's kind of dropped again, but it's like a mini drop. Another thing is like these clap build-ups at the beginning where we're getting the claps that go faster and faster. Just a nice way to hype up the track at the beginning and let the listener know that like something's coming and it's about to hit. Final tip that I've got for you is, again, kind of like with the drums, maybe don't include your bass at the beginning of the track, just have the normal organ on its own and then the bass drops later, just because it's way more impactful and the listener won't be like, oh, he's added the bass there, but you'll just feel it, if you get what I mean. Hear it all together.
Sluggy, what you saying, man?
One bonus tip, if you happen to be recording the vocals for this track or you're in the session where the vocals are getting recorded, you want to make sure that you're doubling your vocals up. As you can hear and see here, we've got Cav's main vocal, which is the one that goes all the way through, and then the doubles underneath.
It's 2024, and you know we're still going wicked and raw. Every time I link up with Sluggy, the numbers go mad, so it's only right that we give them more.
And then this is when it's in the song.
It's 2024, and you know we're still going wicked and raw. Every time I link up with Sluggy, the numbers go mad, so it's only right that we give them more.
Just gives more impact to certain words and just makes the track more exciting and thicker, and yeah, just adds to it a lot. That's everything for today, guys. Thank you for watching. If you enjoyed the video, don't forget to drop a like, hit the subscribe, and let me know in the comments if there's anything you'd like to see next. Thanks for watching.